F. No. 1-16 2015 RMSA2 is L8 Government of India Ministry of Education Department of School Education and Literacy IS 18 section. Shastri Bhavan, New Delhi dated the 27th of May 2022. Office Memorandum. Subject: Submission of final version of Draft Guidelines of Accessibility Code for Educational Institutions regarding. The undersigned is directed to refer to Guidelines of Accessibility Code for Educational Institutions and to forward herewith the Accessibility Code, Standards for Educational Institutions, prepared by the committee, after incorporating the comments received by Chief Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities and suggestions, feedback received from the public. 2. This issue with the approval of competent authority. NL, as above. R. 101. 256th Report of the Expert Committee constituted by Ministry of Education, Government of India, to ensure that all the educational buildings such as pre-primary up to primary schools, primary up to upper primary schools, upper primary up to secondary schools, secondary up to senior secondary schools, KGBVs, residential school, hostels, CERTs, diets, BIETs, SIETs etc. have barrier-free access. Accessibility Code for Educational Institutions. I-12012 fifths, 2022, AIC. 141,810 2020 seconds, AIC. 6-256 The Department of School Education and Literacy has been entrusted with the task of preparing customized guidelines and time-bound action plan to ensure that all the educational buildings such as pre-primary up to primary schools, primary up to upper primary schools, upper primary up to secondary schools, secondary up to senior secondary schools, KGBVs, residential school, hostels, CERTs, diets, BIETs, SIETs etc. have barrier-free access. Accordingly, to prepare customized guidelines for barrier-free access of educational institutes, an expert committee under the chairmanship of Chairman CBSE was constituted and notified vide the Ministry's letter number F. No. 16/2025 RMSA2, IS 18, Part 2, dated the 7th of January 2021 with the following as members of the committee. 1. Chairman, CBSE 2. Commissioner, KVS 3. Commissioner, NVS 4. Chairperson NEOS 5. State Project Directors of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Gujarat, Assam, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh 6. Special invitees to be nominated by the Chairman. The following experts were subsequently nominated as special invitees to the committee by the Chairman. 1. Dr. Anjali Agrawal, co-founder, Samarthyam 2. Dr. Indumati Rao, founder and regional advisor, CBR Network 3. M. Sudha Acharya, principal, ITL Public School, Dwarka 4. M. Harpreet Kaur, principal, Shri Guru Hakrishan, Model School, Chandigarh 5. Dr. Aati Bakshi, Counselor, Pathways School, Noida 6. Dr. Vasanti Tyagarajan, Senior Principal, Siksha School, Krishnagiri, Tamil Nadu 7. Dr. Sandeep Kumar Jain, JS, Trung. Central Board of Secondary Education 8. Dr. Pragya Verma, DS, Central Board of Secondary Education. I-12012 fifths, 2022, AIC. 141,810 2020 seconds, AIC. 7-256 4, PAGA. The committee, after due deliberation, submitted its report to the Ministry of Education, Government of India, on the 26th of July 2021. Chairman, CBSE Commissioner, KVS Commissioner, NVS Chairperson, Neo State Project Directors of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Gujarat, Assam, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh Ms. Ritu Singh Sharma, IRA SIT. Special invitees. 1. Dr. Joseph Emmanuel, Director, Academics, Central Board of Secondary Education 2. S.H. Sanjeev Das, Joint Secretary, ANL, Central Board of Secondary Education 3. Dr. Sandeep Kumar Jain, J.S., Trung. Central Board of Secondary Education 4. Dr. Pragya Verma, D.S., Central Board of Secondary Education 5. Dr. Anjali Agrawal, Co-founder, Samarthyam 6. Dr. Indumati Rao, Founder and Regional Advisor, CBR Network 7. M. Sudha Acharya, Principal, ITL Public School, Dwarka 8. M. Harpreet Kaur, Principal, Shri Guru Hakrishan, Model School, Chandigarh 9. Dr. Aati Bakshi, Counselor, Pathways School, Noida 10. Dr. Vasanti Tyagarajan, Senior Principal, Siksha School, Krishnagiri, Tamil Nadu. I-12,012 fifths, 2022, Ek. 108 200 and Table of Contents. 1. Chapter 1, Current Situation. 5. Need for the Code. 6. About the Code. 7. 2. Chapter 2, Defining Stakeholders. 8. Parents and Caregivers. 9. School Administration. 9. School Management Committee. 9. 3. Chapter 3, Barriers and Identification of Barriers. Error. Bookmark not defined. Types of barriers. 12. Disability-specific barriers and access needs. 14. 4. Chapter 4, Common barriers in existing schools and educational INSITUTIONS. 18. Introduction. 19. Road safety. 19. Approach. 19. Ramp. 20. Steps and stairs. 20. Visual contrast. 21. General toilets. 21. Accessible toilets. 22. Classrooms. 23. Furniture. 24. Flooring. 24. Drinking water unit. 24. I-12,012 fifths, 2022, Ek. 141,810 2020 seconds, Ek. 9,256. Illumination. 24. Playground. 25. Emergency evacuation. 25. 5. Chapter 5, Accessibility Standards. 26. Non-negotiable standards for existing buildings. 27. Accessibility standards for all upcoming and new construction. 28. 6. Chapter 6, Hostel. 666. Entry and exit. 67. Accessible room. 67. Canteen, dining hall. 69. Accessible bathroom. 70. Bathrooms, shower cubicles. 71. 7. Chapter 7, Emergency evacuation in schools and hostels. 73. 8. Chapter 8, Information and Communication Accessibility. 76. Barriers and Identification of Barriers. 77. Accessibility Standards. 78-9. Annexure I. 80. 10. Annexure 2. 104. 11. Glossary. 107. 12. References. 110. I minus 12,012 fifths, 2022, ek. 141,810 2020 seconds, ek. 10,256 5, PAGA. I minus 12,012 fifths, 2022, ek. 141,810 2020 seconds, ek. 11,256 6, PAGA. 1.1. Need for the code. Every child has the right to education and opportunities for participation in age-appropriate activities. Education prepares children to lead a productive life and fulfill their role as useful members of the society. It is therefore imperative that provisions for all children to attend schools are created and efforts are made to identify and remove barriers. It is equally important to safeguard the rights of children with disabilities if the goal of education for all is to be achieved. An accessible, barrier-free environment benefits all, not just children with disabilities. Right to Education Act, 2009 provides every child with equal rights and opportunities to access educational services irrespective of child's class, caste, race, gender, geographical origin, and abilities. The Right of Persons with Disabilities, RPWD, Act, 2016 aims to provide equal opportunities to children with disabilities and emphasizes access to public buildings, both government and private. The National Education Policy, NEP, 2020 reiterates the need for barrier-free access to children with special needs for providing equitable educational opportunities. This code examines the physical barriers and information and communication barriers of access to school facilities for children with disabilities. It also provides in detail cross-disabilities and child-friendly standards with cost-effective solutions for existing buildings, as well as all-encompassing elements to make new buildings compliant with national accessibility standards. Experience from research, access audits of schools both in rural and urban settings, trainings and user group inputs is the foundation of the code. Essential and non-negotiable universal design elements are provided with easy-to-understand line drawings, illustrations and photos of best practices for all those who advocate for and implement an accessible environment and helps facilitate finding the right answers or solutions for even the most complex issues. According to UNCPRD, reasonable accommodation means necessary and appropriate modification and adjustments without imposing a disproportionate or undue burden, where needed, to ensure that persons with disabilities enjoy and exercise on an equal basis fundamental human rights and freedom. India, being a signatory to UNCPRD, is committed to ensure access to persons with disabilities on an equal basis with others, with regard to physical environment, transportation, information and communication technologies and systems, and other facilities and services. I minus 12,012 fifths, 2022, ek. 141,810 2020 seconds, ek. 12,256 7, PAGA. 1.2. About the code. Most people understand accessibility only in terms of ramps, lifts, elevators and toilets for children with disabilities. However, accessibility is a much broader term, which encompasses the attitude of acceptance and a commitment to providing a welcoming environment, both in terms of suitable infrastructure and a conducive environment for learning. It puts the onus on the school management and administration to lay down policies, build structures, procure material and equipment as well as to maintain flexibility in the approach to modify and adapt the existing systems to cater to children with a wide range of disabilities and unique needs. Accessibility need not mean only physical access, but access to information in various accessible formats, school websites, brochures, bulletins, teaching learning material both in offline and online formats, signage and directions to navigate the school campus and various facilities. Accessible environment refers to promotion and implementation of universal access standards and codes in the environment built for all children and adults in and around schools. This is particularly relevant in the context of children with special needs, CWSN. Referred as children with disabilities, CWDs, in this code. CWDs are those having locomotor impairments, visual impairments, speech and hearing impairments, intellectual and learning disabilities, as well as those with developmental disabilities viz. Cerebral palsy, autism, mental retardation and multiple disabilities. Accessible environment also benefits teaching and non-teaching staff of schools, parents and visitors. The code focus on identifying obstacles and barriers in the physical infrastructure, indoor and outdoor facilities, and in the communication and learning ecosystem of educational institutions and offers cost-effective solutions for the same. The code is discussed below as follows. Highlights the need for inclusive environment in schools, convergence of communication and universal design in learning and defining stakeholders. Provides in-depth information on the National Physical Infrastructure Accessibility Standards for schools and educational institutions. The physical accessibility standards in the code are referred from the National Building Code 2016, Harmonized Guidelines and Space Standards for Persons with Disabilities, 2016 and Indian Roads Congress, Guidelines for Pedestrian Facilities, IRC 103/2012. Universal design principles are applied to provide solutions for children with cross-disabilities. Experience from research, access audits and user group inputs are the foundation of this code. The images and graphic illustrations are provided by Samarthyam, a disabled persons organization, from access audits of schools in 16 states under the Inclusive Education Project and Accessible India campaign, as well as from the best practices from India. I-12012 fifths, 2022, AIC. 141,810 2020 seconds, AIC. I-12012 fifths, 2022, 13256, I-12012 fifths, 2022, AIC. 141,810 2020 seconds, AIC. 14256 9, PAGA. 2.1. Parents and caregivers. 2.2. School administration. 2.3. School management committee. Inclusive school education demands mutually sustaining relationships between schools and their surrounding communities. Under the RTE Act, 2009, specific provisions have been made for democratization of schools, involving parents and local communities in school education. In the form of school management committees, SMC, they have been entrusted with certain statutory powers to play their due roles in shaping and running the schools. SMCs are responsible for their own school, its efficiency and quality of teaching and learning. Often it is the caregivers who bear the major burden by assisting for daily needs of persons with disabilities, apart from providing financial and social supports to their dependent persons with disabilities. In the process of caregiving, they may have to forego their opportunities to attend work of their choice, earn money, progress in their career, live a satisfactory social life, and to even spend time leisurely. Accessible educational institutions take off the extra burden to care for the child, adult when they are out of home. The journey of inclusion indicates a process rather than an event. The process reflecting occurrence of significant changes brought about by new ways of thinking, new ways of operating in the classroom and adapting to the constant change in thinking, attitudes, and social conditions. Educational administrators should take the responsibility for setting and monitoring the overall standard of the service and ensure appropriate management structures for the same. School Management Committee, SMC, members are now a vital agency, who have a conclusive role. Working, educational administrators should take the responsibility for setting and monitoring the overall standard of the service and ensure appropriate management structures for the same. School Management Committee, SMC, members are now a vital agency, who have a conclusive role in monitoring the working of an inclusive school. Preparing and recommending school development plans, monitoring the utilization of grants, and making an atmosphere where the home and the school share the responsibility of educating the child. The members of SMCs are required to be oriented, trained and supported for their effective participation in school-related activities and in performing their expected roles to actualize the goals of the RTE Act, 2009. It is imperative to equip them with certain skills like identifying the needs of inclusive schools, analyzing them, developing plans of action and interventions as per the standard and norms set in the RTE Act. Web links: I-12012 fifths, 2022, AIC. 141,810 2000 15256 8, PAGA. Role: what can I do, how can I do? Training: understand roles in creating confidence. They are understand unique role of teachers and responsibilities and the tasks capable of bringing change in their building alliance with the teachers to before them. Schools and monitor construction. Change schools. Setting up a mechanism and form a group of members for, if required, get training from local NGOs on process of access audit of the access audits and use self-basic access needs of CWDs as given in various elements in school assessment checklist section. 8.4.1. Payment terms should carry section 3.2. Mandatory compliance clause. Provision of accessible adaptations in educational institutions in consultation with local civil society. Transportation for children and public vehicles to ensure organizations of persons with disabilities with severe and multiple accessibility of children using mobility and disability experts, adaptations in disabilities aids like wheelchair users, crutch users, etc. Locally available public vehicles can be worked out. I-12012 fifths, 2022, AIC. 141,810 2020 seconds, AIC. 16256 11, PAGA. I-12012 fifths, 2022, AIC. 141,810 2020 seconds, AIC. 17256 12, PAGA. 3.1. Types of barriers. A barrier is defined as anything that prevents a person with a disability from fully participating in all aspects of society because of his or her disability. In other words, barriers occur when places and activities that all people should have access to are